Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2022. Tonight, we have not two, but three parties competing for control of the United States Senate. Of course, we have the Democratic and Republican parties, and the third party, the Patriot Party, created by former President Donald Trump. In response to criticisms that the party was merely a vehicle for him to reclaim the presidency in 2024, the Patriot Party decided to run candidates in the midterm elections of 2022. Now let's look at some of the key issues affecting these Senate elections. The approval rating of Joe Biden. Currently, 53% of the country approves of him, compared to 40% that disapprove. Currently a net plus 13 approval rating, which is much higher than Donald Trump's going into the 2018 midterm elections. Some of the top issues, as usual, economic issues take a lead of 45%, and in a distant second place, healthcare, about 25%. Biden's COVID-19 handling is at 15%, decently low, but this may help candidates that Joe Biden has campaigned with extensively, and other issues is another 15%. In generic ballot polling, Democrats have a 45% lead, or they have 45%, with a lead of 20% over the Republican Party, and the Patriot Party has about 20%. Here are 7 p.m. poll closings. We can now project that Vermont will go to Patrick Leahy. He is re-elected to another 6-year term. South Carolina, surprise here, but Joe Cunningham, the congressman who lost re-election in 2020, was the Democratic nominee, has 40% of the vote. Tim Scott, the incumbent senator who switched to the Patriot Party, is at 30%, and Tom Rice, one of the few Republicans who voted to impeach Donald Trump in the House in 2021. Indiana, Evan Bayh, the former senator who lost to Todd Young in 2016, trying to reclaim his seat, now has 45% of the vote. Todd Young, as I mentioned before, has 30%. He also switched it to the Patriot Party, and Mike Pence, the former vice president, is at 20% of the vote. Georgia, Ralph Warnock is at 47%. David Perdue, who surprisingly, after filing paperwork and then withdrawing it, decided again to run, and with the Republican Party no less, is at 30%, and Doug Collins at half of that with 15%. In Kentucky, Charles Booker leads by 10% over Rand Paul. We'll see if this lead sustains enough for Democrats to finally win in Kentucky, which many thought would be possible with Mitch McConnell's unpopularity, but we'll see. Here's a map update. Only one seat has been called, with 4 seats that are currently too close to call. Now our 7:30 p.m. poll closing, just 2 states, Ohio and North Carolina. In Ohio, Tim Ryan is currently tied with John Kasich, who initially said that he would not run, but then went back and decided to run. Jim Jordan also went back on saying that he would not run. It's currently at 15%. We expect Jim Jordan's numbers to grow with more votes coming in, though. North Carolina, Jeff Jackson, who was called too similar to Cal Cunningham, has a 17% lead over Laura Trump and a 27% lead over Pat McCrory. Here is another map update, but not much has changed. Still 1 seat has been called for the Democrats, and 6 seats are too close to call. And at 8 p.m., we can project a larger number of states. Alabama, the first state going to the Patriot Party with Mo Brooks, a strong Trump ally. Connecticut goes to Chris Blumenthal. Illinois, Tammy Duckworth. And Maryland, Chris Van Hollen. We also project New Hampshire, a race that was expected to be close, but actually not, and now being called up poll closings, to Mackey Hassan. And Oklahoma, James Langford, another Republican senator that switched to the Patriot Party, is winning re-election. Florida, Val Demings has a current 15% lead over David Jolly. The Republican turned independent, turned Republican again, and even larger lead over Ivanka Trump, who beat Marco Rubio in the Patriot Party primary in a closely watched race. Missouri, Jason Kander, the former Secretary of State, who lost to Roy Blunt very narrowly in 2016, but ran out the Democrats' margin in Missouri for the first time in a long time, is beating Roy Blunt, as mentioned earlier, by 8%, and Jay Ashcroft, who succeeded him as Secretary of State of Missouri, by an even larger margin. Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, the incumbent lieutenant governor, is beating Donald Trump Jr. by about 5%, and Charlie Dent by 20%. Here you have another, a key race alert here. Georgia will go to Raphael Warnock. He's surpassed 50%, and that's a naturally strong showing. Even with the vote splitting, he has gotten over half of the vote, meaning there will not be a runoff like in 2021. Now we have a map update. Okay, as you can see here, more races have been called. Democrats have 6 seats, Patriot Party has 2 seats. No races have been called for the Republican Party yet, interestingly enough. And Arkansas, at the only state that has poll closing at 8:30. John Boozman, who decided not to switch to the Patriot Party, has won re-election. And here we have another key race alert. Let's see what it is. Kentucky will go to Rand Paul. He has managed to get enough amount of votes to surpass Charles Booker and win this. Matt Bevin was not a very good candidate for the Patriot Party. He lost re-election. He was former governor of Kentucky and lost re-election to Andy Beshear, who is a Democrat, interestingly enough. 9 p.m. poll closings, another large batch of seats. Colorado goes to Michael Bennett, once thought to be close, but now, as you can see, is not. New York goes to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and who is expected to stay in his position as Senate Majority Leader this evening. Wisconsin, an interesting race to be called at poll closings. Josh Call, incumbent state attorney general. North Dakota goes to John Hoeven. And Kansas, Barbara Bollier, who was the nominee in 2020 for the Kansas Senate seat and lost, is 1% above Jerry Moran and in a much larger margin above Chris Kobach, the former Kansas Secretary of State. Louisiana, John Bel Edwards, the incumbent governor, is at 40%, a very strong showing for a Democrat. John Neely Kennedy is at 35%, and Steve Scalise, one of the higher-ranked Republicans in the House, is at 20%. In South Dakota, Billie Sutton, who had a very, very strong showing in the 2018 South Dakota gubernatorial race, especially for Democrats, at 45%, 5% above John Thune, incumbent senator, and Christie in a larger margin above Kristi Noem, who he lost to in the governor race in 2018. Here we have a map update, but a lot more has changed. As you can see, Wisconsin is blue, a major win for the Democrats, who have won 9 seats this evening, 2 seats for the Patriot Party, and 3 seats for the Republican Party. A very weak showing from the longest-running parties in American history. And more poll closings from some contentious key seats. Arizona going to Mark Kelly, another race expected to be close, but has been called at poll closing time. While in Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto has won re-election to a second term. Utah goes to Mike Lee, one of the most conservative members of the Senate. And Iowa is too close to call with Cindy Axne, one of the representatives from Iowa, 5% above Pat Grassley, the Speaker of the Iowa House of Representatives, and Matthew Whitaker, one of the former acting attorney generals in the Trump administration. We have another map update, and more has changed actually. Arizona and Nevada have been called rather quickly, while Iowa is now too close to call. At 11 p.m. we have some poll closings from the West Coast. California goes to Alex Padilla, who was appointed by Gavin Newsom to succeed Kamala Harris when she was elected to the vice presidency. Oregon goes to Ron Wyden, and Washington goes to Patty Murray. Hawaii goes to Brian Schatz, and we have a key race projection. Actually, the Democrats will retain control of the United States Senate, but with a larger margin. So far, that just over 50 seats. And Idaho goes to Mike Crapo, who did not switch to the Patriot Party. And now a key race alert here. And as you can see, Pennsylvania has gone to John Fetterman, a great win for Democrats, a key race. North Carolina also goes to Jeff Jackson, a race that was within their grasp in 2020, but Democrats dropped the ball on that one, has now gone to Jeff Jackson. Ohio goes to Tim Ryan, and Florida goes to Val Demings. Another state that seemed out of reach for the Democrats, but with enough votes splitting, they were able to win. And as you can see, at 1 a.m., only one seat has its poll closing. That is, of course, Alaska. And Lisa Murkowski, in a race that was expected to be close, Murkowski has won at poll closings, surprisingly, as Democrats thought might be able to pick the seat up, but of course, to no avail. Here we have a map update, and again, more has changed. Democrats have won 19 seats, the Patriot Party has won 3 seats, and the Republicans 4 seats. 7 seats remain too close to call, and in surprising places such as South Dakota, South Carolina, and Louisiana. In South Carolina, we have another update. Joe Cunningham remains 2% over Tim Scott, while Tom Rice remains in third, like 20%. Evan Bayh has 42%, 7% over Todd Young, and Mike Pence still remains at 20%. Missouri, Jason Kander is at 46%, nearly reaching his margin that he got in the 2016 Senate race, while Roy Blunt about 7% behind him, and Jay Ashcroft remains in a distant third. In Kansas, Barbara Bollier is fallen behind by 3%, to Jerry Moran, who has 43%. Chris Kobach, who was never very popular in that state anyway, is at a distant third. But not enough vote splitting. The Democrats may not be able to pick up the seat they have spent so much time and money on. Louisiana, John Bel Edwards reigns 10% above Steve Scalise, who has overtaken John Neely Kennedy into second place. Senator Kennedy is at 27%. In South Dakota, Billie Sutton is tied for first place with John Thune, both at 42%, while Kristi Noem remains in a distant third. In Iowa, Cindy Axne is at 43%, a mere 3% over Pat Grassley. Here you have a key race alert, everyone. Let's see what it is. Indiana has gone to Evan Bayh. He has reclaimed his seat that he vacated in 2010, deciding not to run for re-election. He lost in 2016 to Todd Young, but now he has reclaimed his seat. Iowa goes to Cindy Axne, which if this state was seen as within reach for the Democrats in 2020, but of course Teresa Greenfield lost by 7% to Joni Ernst. Missouri, Jason Kander claims the seat as well. This is interesting. He lost his seat in 2016, but is now able to overcome Roy Blunt and Jay Ashcroft. South Carolina remains too close to call, with Joe Cunningham a mere 2% over Tim Scott. Tom Rice has, I believe, run up his margin just a little bit more at 23%. In Kansas, Barbara Blair, it's a four-way tie with Mr. Beat, a famous YouTuber, who has gotten enough write-in votes to make this practically a four-way tie. Very interesting here. And South Dakota, Billie Sutton remains 2% over John Thune. Louisiana, John Bel Edwards has 43%. This is more than a Democrat typically gets in Louisiana, but he's quite a popular governor, so we'll see if this pays off for him. And we have a map update here. Let's see what has changed. As you can see, Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, and a few other states have been called. Democrats have won 22 seats, Patriot Party 3 seats, and the Republican Party 4 seats. No gains, except for the Democrats. We have a key race alert, everyone. Let's see what it is. Kansas had gone to Mr. B, quite a surprise, and I don't think anyone expected this going into this election. South Dakota remains too close to call. Billie Sutton has expanded his lead, John Thune has lost ground to Kristi Noem, who is now at 22%. John Bel Edwards has advanced to the runoff, as in Louisiana, very similar to Georgia. If no candidate gets over 40% of the vote, 50% of the vote, they advance to a runoff later on. John Bel Edwards has advanced. As you can see, he is at 42%, while John Neely Kennedy is at 27% and Steve Scalise is at 28%. It is really a battle for second place, and whoever wins may determine if the Democrats can win the seat or not. Here we have a key race alert. Let's see what it is. And Joe Biden has addressed the nation after there's a Democratic landslide, or Demslide as many people on the internet are calling it. South Dakota, Billie Sutton is at 42%. John Thune has slipped even more at 37%, while Kristi Noem is at 20%. In South Carolina, Joe Cunningham has gained some ground, interestingly enough, 4% above Tim Scott. Here you have a key race alert. Let's see what it is. Louisiana, Steve Scalise has advanced to the runoff. This is interesting. John Neely Kennedy did not get enough votes to overcome him, and what was really a battle for second place. We'll see if Louisiana will vote for its incumbent governor, who has remained popular despite being in a solid red state, or not. The New York Times has put John Bel Edwards as a favorite in the runoff. Surprisingly, many have thought it's out of reach for the Democrats in such a solid red state that has not gone for the party since Bill Clinton. But you might be able to pull it off. We'll have to see, though. We have a key race alert, everyone. Another one, of course. And South Carolina, Joe Cunningham has won, getting just enough votes over Tim Scott to be declared the winner. And Democrats have now gained 60 seats, something they have not done since, I believe, 2000, the late 2000s, early 2010s. It's just been seen as out of reach for so long, but they have finally achieved it. And only Louisiana and South Dakota are yet to be uncalled. In South Dakota, Billie Sutton now has a 10% lead over John Thune. Kristi Noem again gaining, and a few more votes, surprisingly going to Billie Sutton, again raising his vote total. And now we can project this race for him. Billie Sutton has won in South Dakota, something that has not been seen for so long, It used to have 2 Democratic senators. One of them was the Senate Majority Leader, but he, of course, lost to John Thune, now being reclaimed by Billie Sutton. Very interesting development here. Another map update, everyone, and only one thing has changed, and that's South Dakota. By the way, all the dark blue states are states that have been flipped, and it's about they have 61 seats Democrats, and 1 seat is in runoff, which is green. Plenty of seats have flipped, and of course, giving about 11 seats so far. We apologize, actually 10 seats, as Kansas has gone to an independent. And here is John Bel Edwards' victory in 2019 as the Louisiana runoff is today. Senator John Kennedy has refused endorsement, surprisingly, which may be to the benefit of John Bel Edwards. If he can get enough moderate, independent voters to get to vote for him over the Patriot Party Steve Scalise, he may be able to pull off a narrow victory. Here we have a key race alert, and we have the first 5% in, as John Bel Edwards is far behind with just 40% of the vote. Another key race alert as more has come in, 50% now, 10 times as much. John Bel Edwards has gained 3%, while Steve Scalise has lost ground. Another key race alert, as there will be many tonight, and it continues to narrow up with John Bel Edwards now at 6% behind Steve Scalise. We'll see if his lead keeps on gaining. Another alert here. We have some more updates. With 80% in, only 4% separates the 2 candidates. This has not been seen for a while. This is quite surprising, as there has not been a Democratic senator in Louisiana for quite a while. This is very interesting again. Let's see what else. Here we have another key race alert. John Bel Edwards is 2% behind Steve Scalise, and with 90% in, some from the major city of New Orleans, he may be able to pull off just the narrowest victory. We'll have to see, though. We have a key race projection, everyone. We'll see what this means if Steve Scalise has won or if John Bel Edwards has. And John Bel Edwards has taken the Senate seat, beating Steve Scalise. He was a popular governor. He was approved of more than Donald Trump was, and really his coronavirus handling as well. He has been able to get enough moderate voters, centrist voters, to vote for him over Steve Scalise, giving him a narrow victory. It was quite narrow, though, but quite a shock. Here we have the final map update of this election cycle, as we have 62 seats for Democrats, 35 for the Republicans, and 3 seats for the Patriot Party. As you can see as you can see, the Patriot Party did not do any. They only gained 3 seats. It was really a bad venture, and losing the Republicans plenty of seats and giving the Democrats tons, 62 in all. As you can see, blue means 2 Democrats, red means 2 Republicans, purple means 1 Patriot and 1 Republican, and orange means 1 Democrat and 1 Republican. And Republican senators, multiple, have switched the Patriot Party, surprisingly. Senators Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Marsha Blackburn, Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, Kevin Cramer, Tommy Tuberville, Mike Braun, Roger Marshall, and Rick Scott have all switched the party of Donald Trump, the Patriot Party. As you can see on the right side, this now gives the Patriot Party 13 seats and the Republican Party 25 seats. Democrats, of course, remain at 62 seats. As you can see on the upper right, blue means 2 Democrats, red means 2 Republicans, purple means 2 Patriots, and that is, of course, only Alabama. Orange means 1 Democrat and 1 Republican. Green means 1 Democrat and 1 Patriot. Yellow means 1 Patriot and 1 Independent, which is simply Kansas. And light blue means 1 Republican and 1 Patriot. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Hope you all enjoyed this interesting scenario. I know that Donald Trump just recently announced that he would not create a third party, but I really saw that right before I recorded this video, interestingly enough. But thanks for watching. Subscribe for more if you enjoyed it. Like the video so more people can see it, and comment your thoughts down below, suggestions, what you liked. Do you think it's a viable possibility, or would the Patriots win more seats, would the Democrats win more seats? Tell me all down below, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.